Hi, welcome to the third video in the series, the Enneagram and the Major Arcana. So in this series, I'm looking at the 9 gifts of the Enneagram, particularly at the distortion of the gifts, and holding up the corresponding card of the Major Arcana, which in every case corrects the distortion. So the Major Arcana and the Enneagram have that connection, but also the Major Arcana has its own trajectory, which tells us that even though we may identify with one of the gifts of the Major Arcana, of the Enneagram, we have to actually pass through all of the gifts to have a successful, creative and procreative life. So today we're on the third gift of the Enneagram, which is the gift that I call potency. So when I say potency, I mean the gift to make things happen, to actually take charge and change the world around you. So people who have the gift of potency have an assertive energy, which means they can take something and make changes in the world around them. Now, the distortion of the gift of potency comes when a person who actually does have potency is afraid they don't. And so they want to appear powerful, but they're afraid they're not powerful. So how they handle that in the distortion is by making themselves look successful. So they will create a facade of success so that other people will think they're successful, even though they might not be. So a person in that facade might have a great house and have a great car and have nice clothes. But if you could see beneath the surface, you would discover that they're not paying their mortgage, or they're having some interpersonal relationship problems, or they may even be having a nervous breakdown, but their energy is going into appearing as though things are going great. So there is a level of dishonesty in the distortion of the gift of potency, which makes it very difficult for people in the distortion to have truly intimate connections with other people. And when you're around someone who's in the distortion, it may feel as though you're just getting a mask all the time. Another problem with the distortion is that because people are afraid that they are not really powerful, they avoid anything that might result in failure. Because they think the failure is the indictment that they're not powerful, which means they're not really challenging themselves. And they have potent energy, which means they can do awesome things, but they don't allow themselves to try to be challenged because they're avoiding failure. So there's all this energy that's kind of stagnating in the life of someone who has potency but is distorted. So the third card in the Major Arcana, which answers the distortion of this gift, is the Empress. Now, in the trajectory of the Major Arcana, we have the number 1 card, which is the Magician, which is the Conception card. We have the number 2 card, which is the High Priestess, which is the incubation card. And this is the 3 card, the Empress, and this is the birthing card. This is the place at which what we've been thinking about or dreaming about and incubating finally comes into the world as creation. It's in the physical realm now, changing the world around it. The Empress card, you can see, has a field of wheat and a forest in the background, and there's water flowing. It's just a scene of verdancy, and that's because she is creative. She's the mother of life, and the crown of stars on her head suggests that she is the queen of all she surveys, and that's because she's the mother of all she surveys. So this is an important correction to the distortion of the gift of potency because it is a relaxed card. See, the Empress is reclining, which implies that her act of creation isn't coming because she's working at it or spinning around and trying to look busy or look successful. It happens because she's relaxed. It flows through her the way ideally a birthing process would do. It just flows through her. She's naturally creative. And that's an important thing for creative people or creators to get a handle on, that you create things not because you are working at it, but because you are a channel of energy from your spiritual energy field. And if you can let it flow through you, things just naturally arise. Another thing that I think creates distortion, as I mentioned before in this gift, is the fear of failure. But anyone who's creative has to somehow wrap their mind and their heart around the fact that success and failure is a judgment placed upon us either by our own expectations or by the expectations of others. Success and failure has no objective truth. And so when we're creating something, we have to get used to the idea that what we're creating has its own integrity, whether other people get it or don't get it. I mean, if you look at a Picasso painting, someone might look at that and say, well, that's clearly a failure because it's not realistic. But another person looks at the painting and sees pure genius. And so when we're being creative, we have to allow that whatever's flowing through us has a purpose and has a meaning, and trust it even if other people don't get it. I mean, the Empress is going to be the mother of rattlesnakes and koala bears, you know? And so you may prefer a koala bear over a rattlesnake, but the Empress doesn't have that preference. She knows that all of it is good, all of it serves. So preferences aren't as important as being a channel of energy flowing into the world. So trusting yourself to be that channel and trusting your spiritual energy field that it knows what it's doing when it's bringing these things through you, and it's expanding and improving and enhancing the earth through you. And the more we can become that channel, the more potent we discover we are, and the more we are able to create and manifest the world that really matches who we are called to be in the world. So I hope that's helpful for you this week. I hope you'll join me next week for our 4th installment. See you then. Bye.